The million-dollar question: does the quarterback make the line, or does the line make the quarterback, or is it a combination of both? Tennessee seems to be set at quarterback for the next 2 years. How are they looking on that offensive line? Well, it's too early to tell, but I'm going to dive right into it here in about 20 seconds. Good evening once again. This is Frank Rock coming at you with the second installment of the doubleheader tonight. I dropped something just a few minutes ago marking the 3-year anniversary that Tennessee football regained its pulse when it fired Jeremy Pruitt. Now, a lot of talk lately about what's going on with this offensive line. What's it going to look like next year? Who is Nico going to have in front of him at that point? Well, I decided I wanted to dive into this a bit. And as I looked at who's returning, who's potentially returning, who's potentially coming in, are the worries valid? Maybe to an extent. But I'm going to dive right in. Looking at my starting five for next year, it is hard right now to determine because I've got on my list so many asterisks right here. From what was said today, Matt Zenith, 24/7 Sports, and then Steve Wilfong as well, come onto the 24/7 message board and said things are looking really good. And I'm not quoting what he said because I can't remember exactly what he said, but looking really good with Lance Hurd, the offensive lineman from LSU, who, according to 24/7 Sports, was a top 15 offensive lineman last year. Matt Zenith says he continues to feel well about it also. So when could we hear news on that? It seems like, you never know until basically it's signed on the dotted line. I don't think there's as much drama in this as a lot of people have thought, because it's, he visited, what's it going on, like almost 2 weeks now? And there's really been no movement since. He hasn't been visiting other schools or anything. So, I wonder with Hurd, is it just getting all the paperwork done? Is it, making sure everything's a go with that? But I think based on what we're hearing that Lance Hurd will be announced probably anytime as transferring to Tennessee, which will be big. And we've seen video earlier this week of John Campbell. It's like he's doing some footwork and stuff to work at right tackle. So if that's the case, then Tennessee has 3 of their 5 offensive linemen intact. John Campbell, I think you've got to pencil Hurd in at that point, at that left tackle spot. Cooper Mays returning. Spraggins, from what I understand, is probably coming back, but unless I've missed it, he has not announced it for sure. So, again, until you've announced it for sure, he's not back. But let's assume he is back. And then you've got that left guard spot. I think Jackson Lampley may have a shot. He played in the bowl game. He played pretty well in that bowl game. May have gotten himself a leg up in that competition. Of course, spring practice will be big as well. And, God bless the guy. He's gotten hurt so many times on extra points. It's good to see him just overcome adversity and really possibly go into that starting role in 2024. And let's hope that injury bug doesn't go down to anyone else on those extra points. As we know, it's just such a weird thing that happens to Tennessee and on extra points with those linemen getting injured. Prayers for quick healing for all of them that went through that adversity the last couple of years. But you got Jackson Lampley. I think Carrick from Texas will be a possibility as well. He started saying he didn't get the job done this year, and then he stayed hurt a lot. And then if you pencil Spraggins in at that right guard spot, if you're going Hurd, if you're going, let's say Lampley wins out, Mays, Spraggins, Campbell, that's a decent offensive line. Now you need depth. Tennessee has a lot of bodies. There's a lot of unprovens. They lost 4 guys. Ollie Lane graduated. Ollie Lane started every game this year. And, you can say what you want about him. He was not a perfect offensive lineman, but the guy gave it all. He had some good games. He was, what more can you say about the guy? True Vol, true VFL for sure. Gerald Mincy left. I said it. I did a video right after he left, not necessarily about him leaving, but just about Tennessee football. He's replaceable. Nothing he did over time. Did he have good games? Yes. In that bowl game, he was terrible. He was terrible at left tackle. Maybe he goes to Kentucky and turns it on. Easily replaceable, in my opinion. And I fully expect next year when Kentucky comes to Knoxville, James Pierce, Joshua Josephs, Caleb Herring, or whomever are going to feast on him. They are going to feast on him in Knoxville next year. Mo Clipper left through the portal. Addison Nichols, that was somebody that was believed would have a shot to step in at that left guard spot. He left. He went to Arkansas. Don't know the deal there. Don't know if there's a clash of personalities with Glenn Ellerby. Don't know the deal. Maybe he's just ready for a change. But in no particular order, who Tennessee has coming back. Aiden Bussell was a freshman. Dane Davis just announced today he's returning for his super senior year. Brian Grant was a freshman last year. Of course, I mentioned Jackson Lampley. I've got him in between. We don't know for sure, but I think he's going to have a shot to be that left guard. Larry Johnson come out of JUCO. Still, don't know a lot about him. I mentioned Carrick, the transfer from Texas. Bison Lang, who played a little in the bowl game. Masai Reddick, and then Sham Umarov. Those are some guys with potential, but are they ready to step in? And then I really like Tennessee's signing class that they're bringing in. Not counting the portal, but their freshman class. Bennett Warren, tackle, 4-star, according to 24/7 Sports. Max Anderson, another tackle. Let me think. Out of Texas, 4-star. William Satterwhite, interior offensive lineman. Jesse Perry, 3-star tackle. Gage Ginther, out of Colorado, 3-star offensive lineman as well. Part of me wonders, well, with Warren, you've got John Campbell coming back. If you get Hurd, if they finish that off, is Bennett Warren in line, though, for more action? You're going to have Dane Davis, who's going to get his playing time. But elsewhere at tackle, does he take the spring practice and take that next step where he's ready? Is it Masai Reddick? Does he possibly do that? Larry Johnson, what do they do with him? Brian Grant, they have tackles, but no one's proven right now. Does Max Anderson, another 4-star, is he ready? I think Bennett Warren would be the one most likely looking at. And what about William Satterwhite? He's an interior offensive lineman, a 4-star. Does he possibly factor into that equation? How ready does he come in with it? But when I look at that protecting Nico in 2024, there's still question marks. This is a topic I want to revisit closer to spring practice. Do they add more through the portal? If they finish with Hurd, do they go for more guys? I'm not so sure they're finished in the portal, but it's going to depend on numbers. Could you possibly lose some more guys after spring practice and open up numbers? Who knows what's to come with Alabama? And if Jim Harbaugh jumps to the NFL as expected, is there a mass exodus at Michigan as well? It's going to be interesting to see, in which that's going to cause, who then takes over Michigan if Harbaugh leaves. It's a chain reaction. You could see a couple mass exodus at that point. Who would Michigan then add? I think it's a fascinating concept to look at, as with the portal, with it all happening. And frankly, I hear all this whining about, well, these poor teams losing. I don't want to hear it. That video I just did, Tennessee lost over 30 guys in that portal. You never heard Josh Heupel whine one day about it. It sucked. It hurt Tennessee's depth. Josh Heupel come and coached his ass off and overcome it. Glenn Ellerby coached his ass off with that offensive line and overcome it. Wasn't easy. Wasn't always perfect, but they did it. What are these other teams going to do? Don't want to hear the whining about it. It's just part of it. Okay? No one felt sorry for Tennessee. No one should feel sorry for Alabama, nor should anybody feel sorry for Michigan. All right? Those coaches are making those decisions on their own. My initial thought on this offensive line, Nico will be protected. I think it'll be a decent offensive line. They rushed for a lot of yards this year. One of the best rushing attacks in the country. Top 10, if I'm not mistaken, on that. feel strongly that this will be a good offensive line. It'll be a veteran line. Tennessee let guys in the secondary go. They said they're replaceable, and I couldn't agree more. They put NIL money into this line. They're going to protect Nico. This is going to be a big-time offense next year. They're going to have that protection. This unit is going to be ready. I fully believe that. I believe in Glenn Ellerby. Have they missed on some guys? Absolutely. Are they starting to hit? Recruiting was good on that line this year. If they would have gotten Jordan Seaton, it would have looked so much better. But we know how that one went. Tennessee did all they could in that one. I don't think they could have did any more based on everything I read. But if I'm Nico, I'm feeling good with what's coming back. If everybody comes back and says they are. Again, there's an asterisk. Again, I want to revisit that. But my initial is all this is overreaction. There's a lot of bodies. It's up to getting in the weight room and developing. Throwing these guys into the fire, seeing what they can do in spring practice. I'm excited to see it. It's going to be big. And they're going up against what's going to be a damn good offensive line a damn good defensive line. So iron sharpens iron. These guys will get better because they're going against iron every day. Make sure you like this. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you share this out. Again, dropped a 3-year anniversary, Jeremy Pruitt. I don't really like to go revisionist history so much, but I thought that was an interesting topic, and it helps realize where we're at today, that Tennessee football is alive and well. It wasn't 3 years ago. It had not been for a few years ago. First slide at the end of this on my outro. I've got a lot of stuff coming. I've got a notebook full of stuff right now. I wouldn't say full. I've got a few pages full of stuff of basketball, baseball, and football coming. I'm excited about what's to come. A lot of good content. I'll continue my preview Monday of baseball with the infielders. This weekend is going to be pretty much basketball oriented. Tomorrow, I'm going to do one on Dalton Connect. I'm going to do an Alabama-Tennessee preview. And then Saturday, the only thing I'm dropping is Tennessee-Alabama post-game recap. But thank you guys for the support. Make sure you share it out. My name's Frank Rock. This is the House of Orange Sports channel on YouTube. I hope you guys enjoy your Thursday. Have a good Friday. And as always, go Vols.
Dreams, and I've come to realize